space that they have. They're not tied to a structure like a solid or a liquid is. So it doesn't matter the space between those particles is, it's still a gas if it's a collection of particles. And those particles can be as far apart as they please and still be called gas, albeit a very low density one. And these huge gas clouds, they aren't rare in our universe. We see them everywhere, from these stellar nurseries where stars are born for the first time to around supernovas where stars have run out of fuel and ended their life and ejected all that material back out into space, dispersing it once more into a very low density gas where you hope the cycle would all stop.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's check the audio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, sounds good. Wait, let me keep playing that. All right.
All over again. And we haven't even covered dark matter yet. All galaxies we think are embedded in these huge, big dark matter halos that basically keep the entire galaxy bound together. So, for example, even in the solar system itself, we think there are 2 protons worth of dark matter in every teaspoon of empty space. And you're probably thinking, well, surely the space between other galaxies is truly empty. Say the Milky Way and our nearest neighbor Andromeda, intergalactic space, that would be empty. But no, dark matter is binding us together there as well, because when we simulate the structure of the universe, and we sort of zoom out on what the full structure would be, we find this cool web where there's nodes of lots of dark matter, or the clusters of galaxies form, and then connecting them all is these long, thin filaments where more galaxies form a bit more isolated, and everything is interwoven by this web of dark matter. So really, space isn't empty at all. There's stuff filling it everywhere. But okay, statistically speaking, the smaller the region of space you pick, the more likely it is to be a true vacuum and be completely empty. But otherwise, the bigger region of space you pick, you'll find that space is absolutely chock full of the universe. First of all, what do we mean by vacuum? I'm trying to say vacuum.
I thought she was going to talk about the quantum, the quantum field. All right, no quantum field. Building a Peltier-cooled base cloud chamber. The principle of least action.
So say there's a stick person standing here, and this stick person has just thrown a rock into the air. Here's the rock, and it's thrown into the air. Now, we can ask the question, what is the path of this rock? We know it'll go up and it'll come back down. We can use a graph to sort of think about the different things that can happen. So on this graph, our horizontal axis will be time, and our vertical axis will be the height of the rock. So at a certain time, we'll call it T1. The stick person throws the rock into the air. At time T2, they catch it again. It's come back down, and they catch it. So it starts out at some height, and it ends at that same height. And we know that it will go up and it'll come back down. It'll look like a parabola. If you've studied projectile motion, you'll know that this will look like a parabola. But there are a couple different parabolas that it could follow, right? It could go extra high and it could come back down. Or it could go take this very shallow parabola. Or if we didn't have any intuition about physics at all, we might think that, hey, it can actually take this funny, curvy, bumpy path. Why not? And one way that we've already looked at, that you're probably somewhat familiar with by now, is using Newton's second law to figure out the path of a particle, or the trajectory. Force equals mass times acceleration. Oops. Make that arrow green like the letter. So these are vectors. This is a vector equation, and we can use it to find the acceleration at each point if we know the force at each point. And using the acceleration at each point, we can find the position at each point in time. But in this video, we're going to talk about a different way to do that. So we're not using Newton's second law. We're using something different. And the thing that we're going to talk about...
1 second. I just noticed a video. Wait, what's this? So there's a video on my other phone that says, come on. The economy, this is from Anthony Pompliano. Let's see. Anthony Pompliano. And he live a year ago. Okay. That's like one of the ways I test a creator is by how much he is live. Like, if you're, I would say that's my intuition. Legitimacy equals live. The more you do live, the more you are yourself, the more transparent you are. So, that's my intuition. I don't know. Let's see. So he says the economy is worse than you think. How long? This is 1 hour and 55 minutes. 8 views.
So first I talked about our...
So this guy, you want to tell me, this doesn't make any sense. He has 500,000 subscribers. He does a 2-hour show and it gets, 39 views. That's on par with the number of views that I get. with my tiny channel, this doesn't make any sense.
our unfunded liabilities. And I said, Larry Kolikoff, Boston College, puts them at like 200.
Anyway, the economy, these people, they keep claiming the economy is terrible, the economy is about to implode, explode. They always have a negative outlook. I don't know what it's based on. There's no evidence that there's any issue with the economy. So when I analyze the economy, the most important thing is the S&P. I don't even know how to look for the S&P on my laptop. I would say that's what I look at. I just look at the S&P 500. That's the 500 best performing companies in the United States or something. I'm not even sure what it is, but this shows you the U.S. economy over I don't know how many years. So as you can see, it's basically it's a natural growth, which is just that's like if you put your money in the bank and it grows at 1, 2, 3% per year on average. That's basically what you expect to see. Sometimes it goes up a little bit more than it should, quote unquote, and then it just corrects. So if you draw a straight line through these bumps, you would see that these bumps are, so if it goes up, it's probably going to come down. Something strange is happening. I don't know what happened around the year 2000. Oh, this is the 2000 bubble. So everyone was very excited about the internet and computers. So a lot of money went into the stock markets, into the S&P, I guess, into these 500 companies and caused their prices to rise. But then at one point people realized that it's overhyped. It's exaggerated. The hopefulness is exaggerated, and things are not probably going to perform as well as they hoped. So they sold, and as they sold, the prices dropped. This is just the prices. This is just the prices of these 500 companies. These are the biggest companies. This is today, Tesla is there, and probably Nvidia, and probably Costco and Walmart and Bank of America. Every big company you can think of is in this package. So if you buy stocks in this index fund, you're basically buying a little bit of each of these companies weighted by how well it's performing. So if you buy $1 worth of this index, you're probably buying a lot of Tesla, but I would say a little bit of Costco, because Tesla is better performing. I would say, let's assume Tesla is better performing than Costco, or is bigger than Costco, whatever. So I think it's weighted, and if it does poorly, then it gets sold out, and they're always buying this index fund is always buying the best performing 500 companies stocks. So this is I think the best performing index fund. So if you want to save money, this is probably your best in the long run. And I would say even in the short run, this is probably your best bet. And this is the indication of how well the US economy is doing, and maybe even the world economy is doing, because the US is a very important economy. So there's no indication when you look at this. there's no indication that there is any issue. Nothing has changed. This is today we're, let's say, 2025, and this is since, I guess, 19 maybe 80. So it's 20, 30, 40, almost, let's say, 50 years. I don't know how long this index fund has been in existence. Let's say around 50 years. So it's been growing steadily year over year. Then if you look at the last 5 years, it also looks okay. Something, there was a little bump here, and then it got corrected. But overall, you can trace a natural growth. Natural growth just means like a population grows, like 1 or 2 or 3% year over year. What it says here is over the past 5 years, it grew at about 80%, which is phenomenal. It's almost doubling your money. So if you put in $1 if you bought $1 of S&P 500 in about 2020, and today is about 2025. So by now it's almost $2. It's $1, and you gained another 80 cents. So it's $1.80. So so it's pretty good. Over 5 years, 80% over 5 years is amazing. In the past year, it went up 20%. That's amazing. That's amazing. To claim that there is any issue with the economy, that the economy is in bad shape, there's no indication. There's no reason to suspect that there is any issue. Last month, so just in the last month, even though it went up and then down, but altogether it went 1.2% up. That's pretty good. That's about 12 or 13 or 14% year over year. That's pretty good. In the last 5 days, okay, I don't care how well it does or how poorly it does over 5 days. That's not important. Or even one day. That's not important. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a 5 day trader. I'm not a 1 month trader. I'm not even a year trader. Not even 5 years. I just put my money in this fund, and I forget about it. This is as recommended by Warren Buffett. That's what I understand he recommends, but it makes sense. It's a very, I would say, diversified index fund. So you're getting a good diversification. There's any kind of companies in here, as long as it's one of the big ones. All right, it's one of the big ones, and it does well and it grows. So you're hedging when you invest in this fund. You're hedged, meaning if maybe one industry suffers, well, probably the other ones will do well. If two industries suffer, well, probably the other ones will do well. So overall, you're hedged. You're hedging your bets, or you're not putting all your eggs in one basket. So that's one way to look at the economy. Another way, I mean, there's many ways to analyze the economy, but of course you can analyze the fundamentals. And the fundamentals means, well, is how, like, you actually think about the economy. So what is the economy? Well, the economy is just people. Basically, people are free. When people are free, they do stuff. They do productive things. They build houses. They create new technologies. They build new industries. They innovate. So freedom is, I would say, and that is what we know, freedom is the most important predictor for a robust economy. And the economy, the importance of the economy at the end of the day is to give us a high quality of life. I mean, why is the economy important? Well, we shouldn't care about the economy except for the economy is our quality of life. That is the economy. The economy is my house, is my food. is my internet, is the, it's me eating a pizza, it's me going out, driving, taking an Uber, it's me living a good life. That is the economy. So if the economy is doing well, that's just an indication that I'm doing well, that the average person is doing well. The average person's life is improving year over year. So there's no indication that there is any issue with the economy. I don't see anything. I mean, Kamala, if Kamala gets voted in, she has plans to destroy the economy. The question is, will she actually do it? She wants to regulate prices and have price controls. Price controls are very destructive. Any reduction of freedom will destroy the economy, will destroy our quality of life. Trump, on the other hand, sounds like he's a little bit better. I mean, a lot better, I would say. If we look at, I barely read the news about the economy. I don't really care what anyone says. I don't know what they're saying here. I don't know. Let's see, economic news about S&P 500. Stock market today, surges. I don't care. I mean, they're always giving these crazy headlines: surges, slumps, dumps. I don't care what they say. I look at the long-term trend and at the long-term fundamentals. Is the economy healthy? Is the economy free? Are people free in the US to grow the economy? That's all I look at. And as long as we're free in America to work and to live and to enjoy our lives, then the economy will continue doing well, and there's no reason to suspect that it's going to collapse. All right, having now understood that, let's get back to this guy. So what does he want to say? The economy is worse than you think. Dave Colum, I don't know.
50 trillion now unfunded liabilities. We don't know how we're going to pay for it. And so you say, well, what do we do?
So we don't know how we're going to pay for it. I guess he's referring to the government's debt. That has nothing to do with the economy. That the fact that the government has debt, yeah, how is that impacting our lives? So you could say, well, the fact that the government has debt, well, it has to pay an interest on the debt, okay, and it takes taxes from us to pay this debt, okay. Yeah, so it's taxes. Taxes is not the best, but it gives this money, it takes our money and gives it to people who loaned the government money. And by the way, any one of us can loan the government money. So it's us. It's people who invest in the government. It's people who bought government bonds, government issued bonds. That is this debt. It's us. It's us. It's maybe wealthy people. I guess poor people don't buy bonds. I personally don't invest in bonds. Anyway, so the government takes taxes from basically all of us, which is not even true. It takes taxes from the wealthiest. But anyway, it takes taxes from all of us, and then it gives it to the people that bought its bonds. It pays them the interest. That's some of us. It takes money, taxes from all of us, and hands it to some of us. Okay, because some of us lent money to all of us. Okay, is that so bad? I mean, those people will take the money. What are they going to do with it? Are they going to burn the money? No, these are probably the people who tend to invest in the economy. So it's probably even a good thing. There's actually no harm, or even maybe there is a positive. It's an overall positive effect that the government has liabilities, and the government has unfunded liabilities, so that it needs to collect more taxes and give it to the wealthiest, because it's actually a good thing to give to take money from everyone and give it to the wealthiest, because the wealthiest are going to invest it in the economy in the long term. In general, of course there's exceptions, but in general, the wealthiest, they're going to just invest in the economy and grow the economy in a healthy way. Like if you take money from the rich and give it to the poor just have kids and the poor just burn it on consumption. But if you take money from the poor and give it to the rich, well, then the poor are going to consume less, have less kids, burn less money on consumption, on nonsense, on actual survival, and give it to the wealthiest. And the wealthiest are going to invest it in, more apartments, more factories, in the actual long-term success of the economy, which in the long term will give us a higher quality of life. So it's giving up our quality of life right now, and in return, we're going to get a higher quality of life in the future, which is something that we should be doing anyway. So through government debt, we're actually accomplishing this feat. So it's not bad. Certainly, it's not. I don't see how it's so bad that as the title says here, the economy is worse than you think. Okay, let's continue. But yeah, I mean, you know me. I debunk everyone on everything, basically.
And I go, well, it's kind of a stage 4 cancer moment. You go, well, what?
Let me check the audio.
And I go, well, it's kind of a stage 4 cancer moment. You go, well, what? Let me check the audio.
The audio is good. This is a new headset. I'm really enjoying it. It took a week to arrive. There's no overnight Amazon where I'm at. The Amazon here takes like a week or two to arrive. It's terrible.
What do we do? And you go, you get your affairs in order. I don't know, but we don't get our affairs in order as a country. We keep moving forward, but I don't know how. And then, of course, politics is.
So he doesn't know how we keep moving forward. I don't know what he wants. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what you want. So that's it. Let's see what else. Malus law, derivation and use. What is intensity polarization? Part 2. This guy is very difficult to understand.
We perceive the oscillations of an electric field as light.
I don't know what's wrong. He has like a speech impediment. I don't know. Maybe he's Swedish or Swiss. Very difficult to understand. She's great. What else? The quantum wave function. I need to derive this equation. I don't know how to derive it, but I think in order to understand the derivation of the quantum wave function, I need to understand the least action principle. Our current mathematical definitions of derivatives, what we need in physics. Churchill was a villain. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Included some of the greatest atrocities in human history, carried out by the likes of Hitler, Himmler, Stalin, Beria, Tojo, Pavlich, for God's sake. He thinks among all these evil men, the chief villain of the war was in fact Winston Churchill. Welcome back to History Revealed. Today, I'm going to be reacting to the interview that everyone is talking about, Tucker Carlson's interview with Daryl Cooper, where they discuss World War II, Winston Churchill, and many other topics. Now, this is a very long interview, so for the sake of time, I'm only going to focus on the historical side of things. They talk a lot about contemporary politics. That's not really the sort of thing I cover on this channel. So I'm sure you've heard that many controversial claims are made in this interview, and I'm going to be assessing all of them.
All right, whatever. Corporate outfits. If numbers were alphabetized, dog finds out owner can speak. Most technologically advanced Australian. This is interesting. Dave Smith Guide to Winning Arguments.
Activist was a brain-dead moron. That was the tweet by comedian turned intellectual firebrand Dave Smith, who Mark Pellegrino debated a few weeks ago. We did a show about that, thinking that is the last time we're going to talk about Dave Smith. But
wait, Mark Pellegrino, he debated Dave Smith? Wow, I need to see that.
I, of course, had to go and tweet about him when he kind of sort of promoted somebody who is a Holocaust, not a Holocaust denier, a Holocaust forgiver. Let's call it that, or somebody who realized it, a historian who realized that the real problem with the Holocaust was not the Nazis and what they did, but the guy who defeated the Nazis. Anyway, today we're gonna.
Wait, what's going on politics announcements? Why am I seeing this? I don't want to see. Wait here. I don't want to see. Unmute. Well, the server is muted. Notification. Only mentions. Suppress everyone in here. Suppress. Mute. That's it. I don't know why they keep pushing by default notifications. Anyway, let me. Oh, and I need to clear markers red. Now I need. Let's see who is here. Andrew is here. Cenas is here. Let's see. Cenas, maybe he wants to work. And Amber, hi. And Andrew, hi. Oh, Cenas is responding. Let's see. Oh, it's too late. It's always too late for him because is it too late for him? Let's see. And Andrew, let's see. We can talk a bit. All right. Cenas, what's up?
Hello.
Hi. I have a new headset. I have a new headset, so maybe I'll hear you better today.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about?
What I want to talk about?
Yeah. What do you want to talk about?
Well, why don't you first thing join here? Take the
Okay,
link.
still
Yeah,
not-
join me on the thing. I'll give you the link. Here's the link, so that we can look at the internet together. La 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 la. La 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 la. All right, what do we want to talk about? Maybe this.
In this video is called the principle of least action. So least action. Least action. What is action? Well, each point along this path, along every path, but each
Okay,
point.
1
rock-
second.
Okay.
Hey.
Hello. It's louder
Hello.
here.
It's what?
It's louder here, but it's probably my computer.
Louder ear? Like it's too loud?
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
Uh,
Anyway,
So what are you doing right now?
just
Watching principle of least action. Okay.
yes. Do you know the principle of least action?
Yeah.
What does it say?
It says that things tend to to the rest state, or to the state where they spend the least energy, and then
Wait.
to take the path that takes the least energy, and so on.
Wait. I don't understand.
You don't understand?
No. What do you mean takes the least? How do you measure a path that takes the least energy? What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means
Because they
that
do. I mean, the action, the way they define it, is the kinetic minus the potential or something, or the potential minus the kinetic. I think the kinetic minus the potential. I don't remember. They're trying to minimize the integral of the difference. I don't remember which is positive, which is negative. Kinetic minus potential, or potential minus kinetic. But what's the logic? Why would you try to minimize?
Okay, let me check
Like,
that.
where does it come from? So I saw a video. I saw there's a, like, most videos they hand wave. There's so far only one video that I saw that actually.
Oh, it's the minimizing the conversion of kinetic and potential energy, but over time.
It's
So
what?
minimizing the integral of that, but over time.
Yeah, but why do you want to minimize whatever? Why? Why do you want to? I mean, why? What's so special about minimizing the difference between potential and kinetic? What's so special about?
Well, if you have no potential and kinetic, if it's zero, if our integral is zero, then you haven't moved. You have not converted any potential energy into kinetic energy.
Wait, what?
If your integral is zero, then you haven't moved, for example.
I don't know. I
One
mean,
of the things
can you prove
I
from
mean,
first principles the
from first
principle?
principles. Okay, I mean it's a possible. I'd have to think about it a bit more, but
So let me.
I get the idea of what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean the
Like,
intuition, but I'm not looking I'm not looking for an intuition. I'm looking for like a perfect proof. Like, I'm not happy with F equals ma. I'm not,
okay,
at
but
this point. I'm
this
not
is
happy with.
yeah,
Hmm?
okay, F equals ma.
No. I don't want
Well,
to, like.
the thing
No,
is,
no, no. No. I don't want to discuss F equals.
okay,
F equals ma comes out of the least action. So all we need to do is explain the least action. And by the way, I heard today that Newton never said F equals ma. Newton
oh,
said F
oh,
equals dp dt. F,
oh,
he
okay,
never said F equals ma.
oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And it's equivalent, but
I mean,
uh,
in case mass is constant. Anyway, let me show you a video. The
okay,
print.
okay. So the kinetic energy, integral of the kinetic energy over time.
Let me find.
So this is basically
Mhm.
uh,
I think Zabin considers it the closest we have. I think this is what she talks about. The closest we have to a theory of everything. But let's forget about that. Um, Euler's identity, the most beautiful of. Well, that's Euler's identity. Uh, where is that? This is the principle of least action. Oh, here's Susskind explaining the least action principle. Which, uh, this guy, I think I watched this guy. He's pretty good. But there was one absolutely incredible video. But of course, is this it? Maybe.
The velocity equation is then just a way.
Yes. This is the best. I don't know if it's the best, but it sounded like he's asking the deepest questions. It's only 20 minutes. Let's see.
When people are first introduced to classical mechanics, it is usually in the spirit of Isaac Newton. One reason is probably that the basic ideas behind Newtonian mechanics seem to make a lot of intuitive sense. A net force acting on some object gives it an acceleration proportional to the force. No net force means...
I mean, it could be F equals ma. It could be F equals m squared a cubed. Why is it F equals ma? It could be F... I mean, 1/2... it could be anything. Why is it F equals ma?
no acceleration. And two objects interact with each other through equal but opposite forces. These force laws are easy enough to state, and usually straightforward to apply to simple problems, but they often prove to be difficult to work with when considering more complex systems. Enter Joseph Louis Lagrange, who formulated his own version of classical mechanics in the late 1700s.
So let's look at the dates. So Newton is 1643 to 1727. He lived a very long life. So it's basically 60, 70, 80 plus years or something. This guy 36 to 13, so that's 60. That's also, almost 80. But did they overlap? No, there's no overlap. So Lagrange was born after Newton died. Newton died 1727. Lagrange born 1736, just before the US was born. Okay.
The purpose of his work was to provide an alternative to the Newtonian approach by describing physical systems in terms of energy rather than forces. The idea behind this video is to introduce the fundamentals of classical Lagrangian mechanics. We will discover where the Lagrangian comes from and how it can be interpreted.
So the Lagrangian is T minus V, which I'm assuming is maybe kinetic minus potential.
We'll also find out what the principle of stationary action means and how it gives rise to the Euler-Lagrange equation.
The Euler-Lagrange, that's like a separate equation? That's not all part of the Lagrangian or the principle of least action, is it? I don't even know.
Although our approach will be intuition-based, we'll be using tools and ideas from several different areas of math, including multivariable calculus, linear algebra, and ordinary differential equations. So in order to get the most out of the video, it helps a lot if you're reasonably familiar with these subjects. But with that out of the way, let's get started by performing a simple thought experiment. Imagine that we're holding a ball at some initial height y0. At some moment in time t0, we throw the ball straight upward with some initial speed b0, such that the resulting trajectory is one-dimensional.
Anyway, but I started working on a bunch of papers because it's too difficult to work on a single paper. So here's the paper of the North Korea solution to Fermi's paradox. Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
so
okay, so yeah, that's I don't know if North Korea would be the best example for what
I don't
it's
know.
going to do.
I don't know.
Like
Yeah.
North Korea is, North Korea is an interesting case because
I agree.
Their first principle was collectivism, and then they moved to like ultranationalism. So
I don't know. I don't know anything about North Korea. I'm just I'm writing it, and
I don't think North Korea is like the best example.
I don't know. I honestly I don't think I mentioned North Korea in the abstract. I don't know if it's going to end up including North Korea.
Yeah, you did not mention North Korea at all.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
You could put just the egoistic solution to Fermi's paradox.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm taking this. I don't know. It's gonna take me wherever it takes me. I don't know.
Okay.
It's just that it has to be a mathematical solution, so it has to involve math.
Well, it's not necessarily going to be math because this is qualitative. So,
It's what?
but it's qualitative.
No,
It's not quantitative.
it has to be a 100% solution.
Yes, but logic provides binaries. They provide ones and zeros.
Fine.
So
Fine.
you can do it without mathematics and just with logic.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, since it has to be 100%, then it must be mathematical.
No, what I'm saying is that's not true. If you want 100%, you can also do it logically.
Yes, logic
With
is part
logical
of.
statements.
Yes, logic is math. Is math. Logic
No,
and math.
it's the opposite. Mathematics is a subset of logic.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but
It
okay,
doesn't
fine.
matter.
You
It
you
doesn't.
you'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's math slash logic, and then I'm saying it's basically I want to say it's the rationality assumption and maybe game theory, the some basic game theory, but it has to be 100%, 100%. They like nothing can get through. So
I don't know if you're going to achieve that. I think you're going to achieve like a very likely scenario that under certain assumptions will work like that.
issue
Achieve
issue
likely achieve.
achieve.
Yeah, achieve a
Oh.
likely scenario that under certain assumptions works like that.
Look, I need to answer where is everyone? Like, there's no one. No one is making
I
a
mean,
beep.
I think the answer to that, I've thought about that issue a bit, and I think the answer to that is that there's probably a lot of conflict
Conflict?
going. Yes, amongst like
What do you
it's
mean?
probably normal that alien civilizations end up
No,
having
you have
conflicts
to
with each other.
explain. You have to explain why they all basically self annihilate. They
Maybe they're
all.
not. That's the thing. Maybe they're not self-annihilating.
They.
That's
What do you mean? So where even one of them, one in the universe, we would have seen them already. They would have
Yeah,
been
but there are many problems with that. You'd have seen them
No.
where, like, you have to try to
They
get
should
first
be.
of all.
They should have been here. We shouldn't be here. They should have been here. It's that
Not
bad.
necessarily.
What do you
Like, that's
mean?
the thing.
What, what's
First,
gonna?
like,
What?
what is it more likely to find aliens?
They
The
should
Earth.
have been everywhere. Anyway, look, we'll come back to this. I'd love to discuss this with you. What I discovered is
I
that
mean,
writing.
there are many scenarios that are
Listen,
possible. Yes.
listen. What I discovered by writing is that writing alone is very difficult. It's much easier to have a discussion and
Yeah.
write as we're having a discussion, like argue and
Okay.
conclude and write, argue, conclude, write.
So my argument here is that we're probably witnessing some kind of conflict between alien civilizations. That's why they don't
No,
show up.
no, that's not a good explanation. You have to explain why. You have to explain two things.
I
Two
think they're
phenomena.
hiding from each other.
What?
I think they are hiding from each other.
No, even that's not good enough. If they're hiding, if they're just hiding, you would see something.
I mean, we see something. We
No, we
definitely see.
don't.
Yes, we
No,
do. I can look. I can give you like a recipe to film UFOs. There are many people who do that. There's
no,
John Leonard Olson, which is like the champion of filming UFO videos. He has like
no,
hundreds of them.
no,
There are some folks
no,
who, yes, I'm telling you
no,
things that exist. You can't say no to that.
no. Then okay,
I'm
we'll come
telling
back
you
to
things
this.
that exist.
Fine, we'll
You
come
can't
back to
just say
this.
no.
I
Right.
will come back to it. Fine, we'll come back to
Yes,
it.
we can see that. There's a lot of evidence.
Okay. I don't
We
think
see
there's
them. We see them. The thing is, they seem to not want to show themselves explicitly. No, I don't think they're hiding from us. I think they're hiding from each other. That's my view on the topic so far, at least. But the egoism part, I think it's a good thing. It's under certain assumptions, you're gonna reach the conclusion that most civilizations will just at least the universe is not going to be very welcoming in a certain sense.
No,
At least
no,
you're going to achieve that.
no. It's much worse. Anyway, we'll come back to this. I just wanted to show you the papers that I started working on.
I don't know. I think the crazy stuff happens more due to when you make like weird collectivist or nationalistic ideas, basically like authoritarian ideas.
We'll
When you
come
make
back to
that,
this. We'll
yeah.
come back. We'll come
But
back.
that's a form of like convincing people that they need to sacrifice themselves for like things that don't make sense.
We'll come back to this.
Yeah,
We'll come
it's
back.
not so much egoism, but okay, fine.
We'll see. We'll see. The next paper is the gravitational. This is basically gravitational ether. So I started writing it, the gravitational ether, and then I came to the point where I said, this sounds like the luminiferous ether that was conceived by Aristotle. I think I heard the other day that Aristotle created
Oh,
the
really? Aristotle created the ether. I
the
had no idea.
luminiferous ether. So I heard that he created this idea that light is a wave and it has to wave in a medium. Bless you.
Wow, like how did he know that?
Because it's a
Like,
wave. I don't look.
yeah.
I
Oh,
heard it.
yeah, he made that weapon, didn't he?
I don't know.
He was
Listen,
the one who made the dead ray. Like Aristotle was quite a genius. He was the one who made the dead ray. I think. I think he understood light. Yes.
I can barely understand what you're saying. What?
Oh, you know the dead ray that the Greeks had.
No. Dead ray?
Yeah, Greeks had a dead ray, which was like a mirror that would
No.
concentrate sunlight, and they would burn ships with it.
Okay. Look, the
I think it
point
was
is.
Aristotle who made that.
Okay. The point is, at this point, I started researching about did Aristotle create the luminiferous ether? And as I started researching, I actually started looking for gravitation. I don't know why I started looking for gravitational ether. And then there's so many papers about gravitational ether that I need to actually go through all these papers about gravitational ether. So there's this guy Nayayesh Shorty, and he wrote many papers, but he talks about thermodynamic solution to the cosmological constant. Mine is not thermodynamic, but
Thermodynamic solution.
I don't know why he says
That's
thermodynamic. And anyway, so I wanted to go through all these search results. These are all his results. This same guy. This is another paper from somebody else. So the cosmological constant and its problems, a review of gravitational ether, May 2017. So there's a bunch of interesting papers about gravitational ether that I'm curious to see if anyone else has my gravitational ether. And there is ether theories on Wikipedia, luminiferous ether, mechanical gravitational ether. So there's actually some interesting stuff to read through. I thought I'm the first person to.
Yeah, not a lot of
think.
people explore that.
Okay, so I need to look into this,
So,
and then
but there are
there is.
lots of ideas out there, definitely.
Yeah,
I have no idea. I can't tell you how many they are. So I think like there's a problem. I think it comes from Bacon, although you like Bacon.
yeah,
Not Bacon, the pig thing, but the philosopher.
yeah.
It comes from him because he was the one who tried to. I think it was him. Maybe I'm misrepresenting him, but I think he was the one who defended like monotheism. So the idea that we need to get to one theory. And while that's good sometimes, in things that we don't understand is a really bad idea to do that.
I can barely understand what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you should
So
speak slower.
he has the his idea, I think he's the one responsible for the idea that science should achieve one theory
Okay.
and
Well,
not all the various possible theories.
well.
So
I
yeah,
mean,
that's a bad idea in things that we don't understand very well.
what? I don't
That's a bad
understand.
idea when it comes to things that we don't understand very well.
Like what?
Like for example, light and magnetism and I don't know, physics in general.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, obviously, we should look for a single theory, or all the theories should, at the end, work together.
Yes, at the end, but we're so far from the end that there's no point in doing that.
I don't know. You never know how you. I don't think we should say that we're far. We don't know if we are far, or if we are close. I don't know. I certainly don't know how far we are from a unified field theory. I don't know. Anyway, here is another interesting search result: gravitational. I don't know. Is this gravitational ether? I don't see ether showing up here. Let me see the next one. Gravitational ether. I don't know what this is about. And another one, gravitational ether and the thermodynamic solution. Oh, it's the same guy. So he published it here, or it got published on this website. But I mean, I need to look into it. Why he needs thermodynamics for the cosmological constant. I have a cosmological constant that's just based directly on ether. I don't see why he needs thermodynamics. What is the current status of Einstein ether theory of gravity? That's interesting. So Einstein ether theory is a Lorentz violating gravity theory which couples a vector field, the ether. The ether is a vector field? Is it?
I mean, it's a vector field.
Why would you say it's a vector field?
Okay.
Because that's the way Einstein viewed it. Einstein viewed the ether as a vector field, maybe.
I mean, vectors are
Breaking-
abstract things. You can't say that something in reality is a vector field.
I don't know. I don't have like, okay, it doesn't matter. It's whatever. We'll come back to this. Phenomenology of gravitational ether as a solution to the old cosmological constant problem. What do you mean old cosmo? This is 2011. Anyway, so abstract and figures. So one of the deepest and most long-standing mysteries in physics has been the huge discrepancy between the observed vacuum density and our expectations from theories of high-energy physics, which has been dubbed the old cosmological constant problem. One, I think they mean the conflict between the expected and the observed cosmological constant. One proposal to address this puzzle at the semi-classical level is to decouple quantum vacuum from space-time geometry. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, we can look into these ether theories, 19th century ether theories. Okay, that's old. Reviving gravity's ether in Einstein's universe. It's the same guy, Niayesh Afshordi. Perimeter. He works at the Perimeter Institute. He's not a joke.
He works
The
at what? The Perigram. Oh, yeah.
Perimeter Institute for Theoretical
What the hell
Physics.
is that? I've never heard anything like that.
No, it's like very famous.
Okay.
Department of Physics and Astronomy, University of Waterloo. I think that's Canada. Yeah,
Reviving
Canada.
gravity is either in Einstein. I mean, Einstein's general relativity requires a medium. Like it's whatever.
Yeah, but
Can
but
call it
the-
whatever you
but
want.
Einstein's ether doesn't flow. Einstein said that the ether, he literally says it does not flow. So if you
Yeah, it's
follow,
more like the elastic version
yes,
of it.
yes. Here is one second. Let me go to here. So here is what is this? IAEA? What is International something Atomic Energy Association? International Atomic Energy Association? International Nuclear Information System. Okay, but what is this guy? They don't tell you. They don't tell you what it stands for. Oh yeah, International Atomic Energy Agency. So it's an international agency. All right. Oh, I didn't show you? Yeah, here it is. This is their homepage. Viscous gravitational ether and the cosmological constant problem. Department of Physics, Nanchang, China. The Eternal Quest. This is from Popular Mechanics, 2021. The Eternal Quest for Ether, the cosmic stuff that never was. All right, yeah. Okay. How much time do you have? Do you have to go to sleep soon?
No, we can discuss a little bit more.
Okay, let's oh yeah, I wanted to discuss this one. This is a paper, How to Detect the Ether with the fiber optics. So this paper assumes ether as proposed in Slave 2024 Gravitation. Slave 2024 Gravitation is this paper. I guess I'm gonna have to write it because I don't think anyone. So from what I've seen, no one has my notion of ether, of the ether flux. Einstein's GR is ether solid, is an ether elastic solid that doesn't flow, non-flowing, non-moving ether, and mine is an ether flux, like an ether Gaussian flux. So in this paper, an ether flux theory to explain gravity, I want to explain the way I view, ether as a fluid that flows through the apple and therefore drags the apple towards the ground. So I think that should be the first line of this paper. We will propose a new theory of gravity. Why does the apple fall from the tree and accelerate towards the ground? Why does the moon orbit the Earth? In this paper, we'll propose a new theory of gravity. We will posit that the universe is completely filled with a non-elastic, incompressible fluid. This will be the gravitational ether. This is not the luminiferous ether. This is the gravitational ether. Well, we didn't explain why it's gravitational. So the universe is filled with this fluid.
We shouldn't really get too much ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, because that's so when I started writing this, this is how I came to the conclusion that there must be ether. Because I didn't wake up one morning and decided there must be ether. I was reviewing Derek's Veritasium's video. Something strange happens when you follow Einstein's math. I was just doing reviews of his video. And then one day I said, okay, let me just sit down and do the math. Let me just do the Newtonian math to derive a black hole. And once I did that, that already gave me the intuition of this fluid. And then I said, okay, let me derive the speed at which this fluid is flowing through me right now. And I got a number, 11,000 meters per second. And then I said, okay, then how am I moving my hand through this 11,000 meters per second fluid that is flowing through me? And how am I breathing? Why am I not suffocating in this fluid? And the conclusion was that I must be waving. The next morning, I came to this conclusion that I must be waving, and everything we know in this universe is just waving, and this gives rise to, that's the luminiferous ether. So gravitational ether forces you to conclude that there must be a luminiferous ether. It doesn't, it predicts a luminiferous ether, and it predicts quantum field theory. That's the beauty of what happened to me. But the abstract, I think the abstract needs to say it. The abstract needs to start from the conclusion. The fact that I went through these steps, that's secondary. We need to start from the conclusion. So why does the apple fall from the tree and accelerate towards the ground? Why does the moon orbit the earth? In this paper, we'll propose a new theory of gravity. It has nothing to do with Einstein. Well, it doesn't contradict GR, but Einstein never understood it. No one has ever understood it.
Yeah.
We will posit that the universe is completely filled with an incompressible fluid. This fluid, it doesn't seem, it must flow into massive bodies. It has to flow into massive bodies. And as it flows into massive bodies, it drags everything in its path. things like apples and moons get dragged towards massive bodies like the Earth. This is the only explanation for gravity. You're not going to tell me that Einstein's curvature of space-time explains gravity.
No, I mean it's a model,
No,
but it
it's not.
doesn't really tell you anything.
It doesn't explain gravity at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, true.
Einstein general relativity does not explain why the apple accelerates towards the Earth. Nor the moon. Einstein's general relativity's curvature of space-time does not explain why the apple nor the moon accelerate towards the Earth. Now, so this is the only explanation. Since this is the only explanation we have for gravity, the question then becomes, how are we... No, then we need to show, well, so this fluid is flowing through me right now. So there's two questions. Why can't I feel this fluid? And why isn't the Earth slowing down? Why isn't the moon slowing? That's one of the things that really bothered the ancient ones. If this ether exists, they didn't even think that the ether is a gravitational ether. Anyway, since this is the only explanation we have for gravity, the question then becomes, how are we... No, this has nothing to do with this fact that it's the only explanation. It's just, the question then becomes, or you could say this is begging the question. Begging the question is not always a logical fallacy.
I mean, begging the question isn't really a fallacy. I don't know.
To beg the question it's just words in English. To beg the question, when I say you're begging the question, well, you're begging the question. That's just words in English. It's not necessarily anything. It's just these words.
You could consider it a fallacy. Yeah. It's like it's not wrong, like in the sense.
But it's not necessarily a fallacy. It could be a fallacy in case you're pretending to give an answer, but really you're begging the question. Then it's a fallacy. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so the question then becomes, how are we moving? How am I moving my hand right now? How am I moving my hand right now through this fluid? No, we need to first say that the calculations show that it's moving at 11,000. We need to show. So I'm just going to say, as will be demonstrated later, so this paper will demonstrate, so we will demonstrate that this gravitational is flowing right now towards the surface of the Earth at around 11,000 kilometers, 11 kilometers per second. We'll come back to this proof. The question then becomes, how am I moving my hand right now through this fluid? No, that's not the question. The question is, yeah, I mean, that too. How am I surviving? How am I not burning up? How am I not burning up while traveling at 11 kilometers per second through this fluid? The only answer is that I am waving through this gravitational ether. That all things in the universe must be waving through this I need to take the words gravitational ether with me. Through.
It's better to say waving or vibrating?
No, I want to say
Or
waving.
Oscillating.
Well,
Good.
I think waving, because vibrate. I want to say that I'm aiming at the next step is this gives rise to the notion of the quantum field. Meaning quantum field theory. Well, quantum field theory, QFT. Oh my God, shut up, Siri. She's always on the lookout. She's always reporting me to the authorities. She's against me. She's an enemy, the enemy within. All right. So, meaning quantum field theory is a direct result of gravitational ether.
Quantum field theory is a direct result of gravitational ether.
Yes.
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
If you assume gravitational ether, you're assuming that the universe is filled with a fluid that is rushing through you right now towards the surface of the earth at 11 kilometers per second. There is a fluid flowing through you at 11,000 meters per second. Why can't you feel it? How are you surviving it? The answer is you are waving through it, meaning you are made out of it. My hand is a wave of this gravitational ether. That's the conclusion. This is demanded. This gives us a unification of general relativity with quantum theory. This gives us the Holy Grail. Modern physics. The unification This gives us the holy grail of modern physics, the unification of general relativity with quantum theory. But
I think you're getting too ahead of yourself.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's fine. I think it's fine. Because this is the whole... this is all the steps. I mean, I'm going through all the steps. And it's fine. I think it's okay. I don't see the issue. I just want to make a note. Notice that gravitational, where's gravitational ether? Notice gravitational ether is just an interpretation of GR. We need to define GR. I think I'll call it GR everywhere, because I don't know where I'll define it, whatever. So notice that gravitational ether is just an interpretation of GR, and since gravitational ether is the quantum field, which is the ancient luminiferous ether, this gives us one unified ether field theory, namely the ether, which is what I wanted to start with. So it's fine. And then we can go into the calculations. Okay. That's the direction of this paper. When are you going to sleep?
Soon.
Okay.
Rather soon.
What?
Rather soon. We can stop here if you
Yeah, we
want.
can stop here. This is good. But the question is, can you be available tomorrow while you work so I can?
I don't know. It's going to be
No.
difficult tomorrow.
I mean, all I need you is just to be available while I'm working, so there's someone else in the universe
Okay, fine.
listening. I don't need
Yeah, we can do
you.
that.
Like today, I didn't need your input. I just needed you to be there so that
Yeah. So you have so
somebody.
you talk to someone.
Yeah, like I'm pretending that you're listening.
I'm listening.
I know, but I don't need your input. I like it's great enough that you're listening and understanding. That's like 99%. I mean, if you give input, that's phenomenal, but not critical. The
Okay,
critical
so
thing,
it's probably not bad for me to focus on working as well.
yeah, you can work. You mean your work?
All right,
Which
all
one?
right. So I mean, in that case, we can continue a bit more, and then I'll go to sleep when I go to sleep.
Okay, so the calculations. We can come back to this. Let's go to the next paper. Detecting the ether. So this paper assumes ether as proposed in Slave 2024 gravitation. That's the paper we just worked on. So that's the paper that concludes that I'll show the calculations that end up with 11,000 meters per second of fluid flowing through us right now towards the center of the Earth. So that's given. So since it's given, we can now detect it. We're not going to detect it. We're just going to detect it rotating through the Earth because we could also detect it, but I don't think they're gonna say that it's different than GR. They're gonna tell us, well, GR predicts that, but GR doesn't predict the flow because Einstein said there is no flow. It's just the bending of space-time. So we're gonna show a flow. So this is what this paper is about. So we're going to show the flow of the Earth rotating through the ether. So this paper assumes ether as proposed in Slave 24 gravitation. The conclusion is that this ether flows into the surface of the Earth at about 11 kilometers per second. This ether should not care for the rotation of the Earth, with care in quotes. This means that we should be able to detect this ether. No, it's not clear what I'm trying to say here. Notice that this detection should be relatively easy at the equator. No, this is very, very unstable English. Let's try this again. The conclusion is that this ether flows. Well, the conclusion is that this ether is a fluid that flows into the surface of the Earth at about 11 kilometers per second. Okay. This fluid reigns, in quotes, reigns on the surface of the Earth. As the Earth rotates, we should be able to detect the horizontal motion of the Earth through this reigning fluid. So we should be able to detect so this is so we should be able to use Michelson. We should be able to use Michelson's interferometer. We should be able to use we should be able to use Michelson's interferometer in order to detect us moving through it. In this paper, we will show the calculations that should lead to a detection, to such a detection, to such a in this paper we will show the calculations that should lead to such a detection. So let's talk about the conclusion. So we will demonstrate that this detection should be doable using off-the-shelf equipment, but was not available. And well, we're going to show. I just want to mention, because the question that will rise immediately is, why didn't the question that arises immediately the question that arises immediately is, why did Michelson and Morley and all the others that attempted this feat? So the question that arises immediately is, why did Michelson and Morley and all the others that attempted this feat fail? So this paper, we're not going to show why all of them failed, but basically no one did. So in this paper, we are not going to review. Wait, somebody has joined us? Oh, Amber. Hey, what's up? How are you?
Yeah. I'm a little pissed off, honestly. Like, fucking stupid things are happening.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just
What's
ask.
that?
1 second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm
No,
a
no.
second too.
Yeah, just 1 second. So, Sinus, are you staying or are you leaving?
No, I'm here. Don't worry.
Okay. Amber, I think she said. Okay, come back and we'll continue. I'm waiting for you. So, where is the paper?
Yeah, if you want to talk to Amber, you can.
Yeah, I want to talk to her, but writing the papers is obviously the highest priority. So in this paper, we are not going to review each and every failed ether. She just left? Yeah, she left. Let me just make sure that she's coming back. I don't know why she left. You left. I'm finishing up work with Sinus on my papers, and then we can talk as much as you want. Okay. Okay. Ti-da-da-da-da-da-da. Perfect. Perfect. La 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 la. Okay, detecting the ether. All right, so in this paper, we're not going to review each and every failed ether detection experiment. We have looked, we will just make a note that we have looked at each of them and they all should have failed if we assume and then I'm just gonna, so every time I want to reference a paper, I stick the reference and like in the square brackets. And they all should. Your mic is off, you know that. So, and they all should.
Right. I wasn't.
Is it on purpose? Were you talking?
No, I just turned it off for a bit and then I forgot.
Oh, but did you answer the question?
Oh no, I was distracted.
Oh, so anyway. So, and they all should have failed if we assume Slave 2024 gravitation. So if we assume that paper, it's fine. It's whatever. Okay, now this ether should not care. Notice detection should be relatively easy. This detection should be the cosine of the latitude. It's not critical. Okay, diagrams. The question is, can an artist in this field understand everything from this paper? Well, I would say yes. No, we didn't say how to build it. We need to say how to build it. So how does one build it? Okay. So how does one go about detecting? You're back? All right, let's go. Okay, Sinus, I'm gonna talk to Amber.
Okay.
When are you going to sleep now?
Not now. But yeah,
Amber,
I can leave or stay.
no, you can stay. You can do whatever you want. But Amber, what's your schedule?
My husband's gonna get home in a couple hours. I can't stay that long.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, Sinus, I'll see you tomorrow. Just be available so we can work. If you can, I would appreciate it.
Sure. All right, see ya.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Amber. I'm all yours. So what's going on?
I'm just pissed off, dude.
Why? What happened?
So, to make a long story short,
Mm,
my ex is really bitter about the fact I'm in a different relationship now, and he's been making alt accounts to try to reach out to me. And I blocked them because I didn't want to talk to him.
okay.
So he started making accounts that were like catfish accounts where he was pretending to be someone else
Okay.
so that he could sit in the chats I was in and listen to me. And he'd
Mhm.
been recording me like the whole time and just following me around on different alt accounts and sitting silently in the chat. And like one of them was an account that like never spoke and said that he had issues with his microphone and said that he had a stutter and he didn't want to talk. And he was in like our chat like all the time, apparently, just like stalking me, and he's like continuing to do it. So I let the chat know when I was in like a Christian chat, and then they all just blamed me for it and laughed at me and made fun of me. And I'm just like, it's not my fault that this dude's unstable and weird. Like, you should take action against that, like, not me. I'm like the victim. And then people just told me, like, just get off Discord then. It's like, what's the point of that? Like, every dude that's ever stalked me, like, in a sort of domestic violence way, it doesn't help to just, like, disappear and isolate yourself, because then they start reaching out to you in a more personal way and start calling, like, your family or showing up at your house or sending you shit in the mail. Like, it's like they're not thinking about the fact that this person is self-motivated. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong to get them to behave like that. Like, I'm already disassociated from them and don't talk to them anymore.
Mhm.
So, like, that's my job. Like, that's all I can do.
Mhm.
And I can't get a restraining order on him for the internet.
Mhm.
You know, like, this has already happened to me with not just like ex-boyfriends, but it's happened to me with like Saxon, and he was just some guy who got obsessed with me on Discord for whatever reason, you know, because these people just see something in you that's not there, and then they sort of fetishize it and obsess over it, and then they start stalking you, and they don't even see their behavior as like wrong or creepy. They just get mad at you for putting up boundaries and take it as like insults.
Mm.
So it's like it doesn't make me any safer if I get rid of all my social media or if I block the guy. That just means I won't see when he's doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what
When
to
it came
tell
to
you.
Saxon, it was really like worse because that dude was hacking into my email. So
I think I know Saxon. Saxon, I think he's like he's one anyway. I think I know him.
yeah, I'm not gonna deny the fact that I was friends with him because he was like fascinating. He was nice, but
Mhm.
when it got to the point of obsession, he was cruel and like insanely abusive. Like, he did stuff like put my address online and like
Mm.
show pictures of me that he took with my webcam, like
Mm.
breached my privacy and just intentionally tried to scare the crap out of me so I would do whatever he said. Like, it was a horrible few months dealing with that, and I had to get the cops involved. And like when it's so crappy because they basically just tell you to report it to the FBI, and then it seems like they're not doing anything about it.
Mm.
But Saxon has done this to so many different girls that like the cops have showed up to his house before, and I'm not sure why, but they can't seize his computer or go through his stuff. I'm not sure why that is.
Mm.
He lives in England, so
Really?
yeah. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but he lives in like the Luton area.
Mm. Wait, let me ask you. What do you want to do right now? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want
Yeah, I just want to talk to you.
to? Okay. I mean, it's like it's basically a dead end. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, there's I don't see.
I'm just gonna move on and keep ignoring it, but it's just frustrating for people to always say it's my fault. Like it doesn't matter what I do in a relationship. Like if I look out for red flags and then leave as soon as the guy starts getting creepy, like if they choose to do this, I can't do anything about it. It's not coming from me.
Yeah.
Like I can only control what I can control, and it's not controlling the situation to just disappear and isolate myself all the time. Like that's not helpful. Like when this happened to me in person, like my ex was threatening to kill me and we lived like one town apart. The cops literally told me like not to go out.
Yeah.
Not just not to have Facebook. They did tell me not to have Facebook, not to have social media, but they also told me like don't even go out, don't wear flashy things, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's like they take away your freedom.
Yeah.
And then they're not even like pursued, you know what I mean? Like they're the ones who should have their freedom taken away. They should be in jail.
I know. Look, so you you have to what I would recommend is the most important thing is not to be in a victim mindset. That's the most important thing. So it's okay to be a victim, but you want to avoid becoming a victim in your own mind. So in your own mind,
I think I need help with that at this point, just because it's happened so often that it feels like part of an identity.
Right. So the most important thing is to stop believing that is a false belief. There's no such thing as like you are whatever you want to be. That's the most important thing. It's not easy to be whatever you want to be, but you have freedom to be whatever you choose to be. So if you choose to be a victim, you can be a victim. If you choose to not be a victim, you're not a victim. It's just, it's however you choose to define what you are. So the most important thing is not to tell yourself, is to stop telling yourself that you're a victim and to start telling yourself you're not a victim. And, just, maybe he'll come over and murder you. That's, that's a possibility. But if you die, you're not going to die a victim. You're going to die, whatever. Now, the more you deny being a victim in your own eyes, the stronger you'll become. And the less he will see you, they will see you as a victim. The world will stop seeing you as a victim as soon as you stop seeing you as a victim. So the most important step is for you to stop seeing you as a victim. The world will see you however you see you. So you control how the world sees you. That it's not easy. But
yeah, it's not, but it's kind of important.
Yeah.
Like, I at least, like, maybe I should change my mindset from, like, I'm the victim here to, like, I'm the one in the right.
Yeah. You don't have to be
like,
the
that
one.
just kind of came to
Yeah,
my
but
mind.
you don't have to be the one in the right. I don't think there's right and wrong. I don't believe in right and wrong. Just that you're not the victim. There is no victim. The people misbehave. People behave in ways that you don't appreciate, and you can just, you can let them know. I don't know that you don't appreciate how they behave, and you'd rather they behave differently. You can just let them know this. So you can.
That would probably really piss him off if I've tried to have a neutral approach with some of these people because I think it will make them react the least, and it actually makes them react more because they're not getting a reaction. So I'm kind of. They say the best reaction is just like no reaction, but also to live your life and to like not not like bend to it because that's what they want, is like it, you know, like you become their reality show because they're obsessed
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
So the more you react to it, the more they're just like, oh, there's a plot, you know, and then they
Yeah.
get more into it.
Yeah. So
So
you
I've been trying to read some books on it. Like I've been reading books on dog training, and that kind of helps me with
that's good.
people's behavior.
Dog training
And
and children
yeah,
training.
oh yeah, because dog training can be used on children or people or
Yeah.
anyone, you know, or
Very
any
good.
animal basically.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
I might read. There's a famous book called "Why Does He Do That?" and it's
Mhm.
on my list, where it basically breaks down the psychology of like men who abuse women and just gives explanation. It was like a psychologist who just, I think she started out as a marriage counselor, and then started working with like individual like domestic violence cases.
Exactly.
But she would have like the most information, like, you know, like it sucks because when it comes to like people who have dealt with this stuff, they want to give you like the victim books, like they want to give you like the body keeps the score and like the gift of fear, and it's like I already know it doesn't feel good, and I'm already hyper vigilant to like danger and stuff, you know what I mean? Like
Sure. It's fine. It's fine to be aware of your surrounding and maybe carry mace, I don't know, or something for self
I
defense.
do,
That's
yeah.
good. So it's
I've
fine.
got like mace, I've got an alarm, you know, I don't do the whole crazy keychain thing where it's like I got 7 tools to stab a guy, but yeah, I've got mace and an alarm.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, when you're carrying like all those weird self-defense weapons, it kind of makes the cops look at you weird, so I don't want to
Okay, so
do
just
too much
yeah,
prepping.
yeah. One thing is plenty. One tool is plenty.
Yeah, because you're supposed to just mace the guy and like run away.
Yeah.
And I've always got my cell phone. Like that's the big thing, honestly. I need to keep my cell phone charged at all times in case there's an emergency, which it's like I get too complacent and forget to do that.
Yeah. Anyway, but the most important thing is the mindset. And
Yeah, I
and
agree.
and every time you realize that you're falling back into this pattern of a victim in your own eyes, just forgive yourself, telling yourself, okay, whatever, you you fell back into this trap, and just dust it off and go back to a non-victim mindset or a winner
Right.
mindset, or like you're in control of your own life mindset, which doesn't take much. Being in control of your own life doesn't mean that you have to become emperor of the universe. It just means that you just believe that you can control your own destiny. That's all it's about. You don't have to actually succeed. You just have to believe that it's possible. So at least the toxic mindset of a victim, at least that you try and avoid. That's nine. I would say that's 99% of living a happy life.
Right. Like, I gotta stop thinking like, why does it happen to me? Because it really could happen to anyone.
Of
It happens
course,
really often.
of course, of course. And it's not important. I mean, you can think, oh, why is it happening to me? And analyze it. Why did this happen? Why did it happen again? Let's analyze it. Let's try and avoid it from happening again. But just don't don't be try not to become depressed. Try not to, you know, hurt yourself on top of people trying to hurt you. Like the worst thing is if you end up
Mhm.
hurting. They're trying to hurt you, but the worst thing is that you end up hurting you. So it's okay that everyone tries to hurt everyone. That's fine, but at least you should try and not hurt you. Like that's actually very difficult. But at
Yeah.
least have the mindset, I'm going to try and avoid hurting me. At least that. It's difficult because we usually end up, we don't take care of ourselves as much as we would like to. Like we all want to be thin and eat healthy and exercise, but we're never that, and we want to work hard and improve our lives. We're never as great as we think that we can be. That's fine, but at least you want to have the mindset that you believe that it is possible, and always forgive yourself. Never be cruel to yourself. Always forgive yourself. Like if you spend the day sleeping, fine, it's fine. And like like don't have goals that are too lofty. Like you can have lofty goals. You can try and become the emperor of the universe, but it's fine if you don't. I mean, just always forgive yourself, and always say it's fine. Everything is fine. It doesn't matter what happens. It's
Right.
fine. You can always improve. Tomorrow you can be better, and hopefully today is better than yesterday. At least you tried. It's fine. And once you're, and this will hopefully make you happy with you. And once you are happy with you, people will be also happy with you. You'll be fun to be with because you'll be happy with you, and that's all we look for when we look to be with people. We're looking to be with people who are happy in their own skin. Like these are healthy.
Right. I just need like a reset
Yeah,
a little bit, like I need first of all, it really sucks that this happened while my husband wasn't here because it just makes me feel more like isolated and like freaked out.
yeah.
Because that would be like a lot more grounding if he was here. It's like it can't bother me if I'm around real people.
So I'm always available. You can always contact me. I'm basically always available on Discord. So if you always
Yeah, thanks. I just don't want to call you while I'm freaking out because I know at the end of the day it's not as big a deal as I'm
no,
kind
for
of making
me,
it out to
for me,
be.
it's fine. It's fun. If you're freaking out and I'm there to listen and absorb it. For me, it's great. That's what I'm here for.
Thanks,
That's
dude.
Yeah, that's exactly the purpose of this Discord. For me, it's great. I mean, you can freak out. I don't care.
Yeah, it's always weird to me that people like care about that so much. It's like, why do you care that I'm freaking out? 'Cause, like, if you didn't want to hear it, you could just leave. Like, it might not be the most polite thing, but like people who make other people feel bad for like having anxiety about stuff that's really happening to them, I think that's really selfish.
Wait, what? Wait. I got lost in my own thoughts. What?
I said, I think when people like disrespect the freak out, it's selfish of them because they could always take space for themselves and leave if they don't like it.
Yeah. Look, everything is fine. It's one of the things is it's important to forgive everyone. Like part of forgiving yourself is also forgiving everyone else. It's like everything.
Yeah.
It's fine that some people freak out and some people hurt each other and hurt themselves. It's fine. Everything is fine. Look, the world is going to hell in a handbasket one way or the other. We're hopeless. Humanity is hopeless. So everything is fine. Nothing really matters. So So, and this mindset makes you actually very strong because you're always able to absorb everything. Like, you don't care. It's like you care and you don't care. Of course, you care. You'd rather the world not go to hell in a handbasket, but that's just the nature of this universe. This universe is hopeless. We can enjoy, we can enjoy our lives a little bit, but I don't have any hopes. I have a very low bar of hope from this life and from this universe. So I'm always surprised positively that I haven't died yet and that my life is, you know, it's okay. So it's fine. Everything is fine.
Hmm.
Like you watch these influencers on, I don't watch TikTok, but I watch, what's the other one? Instagram.
I do Instagram too.
So you have these people and living their perfect lives. So you might think, oh, why can't I have this perfect life? So it's okay to be jealous. I mean, I know some people, like I know at least one model. I know her. Her life is far from perfect, but you see her Instagram, you would think she has a perfect life, and she doesn't. Her life is,
Hmm.
it's far from perfect. But she, it's so you might think looking at Instagram and maybe Facebook, I don't know, you might think these people have wonderful lives. Maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe some of them actually do. Some of them used to have crappy lives, really crappy, and now they have wonderful lives. And some people maybe had wonderful lives and now they have terrible lives, whatever. Yeah, I mean it's okay to aim high and hope one day to also have a wonderful life. It's fine. But it's also fine to have, a crappy life but it's fine. You know, accept, you have to learn to hug yourself and accept your own life and, within your life live, enjoy the little that you have.
Hmm.
That's my philosophy. Ti-da-da-da. Were you listening to anything I said?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm just absorbing.
Hmm.
I think the whole experience burnt me out a little bit.
For sure.
It just makes me upset because like my ex literally admitted that he was using that account to stalk me, and it's like then he keeps like playing with it and using it and playing chess with himself so it looks like it's a real person,
Hmm.
and it's really not that convincing, but like it's just really frustrating like when anything really obvious is happening and you can't get people to listen to you and they just laugh at you. It's like I've had to deal with the same thing like with my parents, like, in real life and
Hmm.
in many situations, and it's just like I know it's not just me. Like I know that it's harder to get people to listen to women. It sucks. And then when you talk about that, people think you're being a victim when it's just a fact.
So, I mean, okay, just I would say stay away from these people, but don't stay away violently. Like like whenever I speak to someone who's being mean to me, I try to avoid hurting their feelings because because like I usually don't say I don't want to ever talk to you again. I usually don't talk this way. Like when somebody's being like, just the other day, yesterday, I was actually talking to someone and he said that my experiments will fail. He is sure that the experiments and all the papers that I'm writing, it's all nonsense basically. So I was debating him, and very quickly I realized that he has nothing. It's like he doesn't have an argument, and he got me upset. I was getting upset, and I just told him, okay, whatever. Let's finish the conversation. And he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not prepared. Next time I'll try to be more prepared." So he felt bad that he wasn't doing a good job explaining himself. But I thought that he was trying to be mean. So really, he wasn't trying to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like I thought he was trying to be mean, but really he wasn't. He was really authentically believing that I'm wrong, but he doesn't really understand the material. Anyway, sometimes people are not mean. You're convinced they're mean, but really they're not. And then if you would attack them, they would be like, "Why are you attacking me?" And like you could have a full blast war with someone who is not your enemy. So you should always cut back to being judgmental and reactive. Like always bite your lip. Bite your lip. Like always refrain from attacking and being aggressive. Always reduce your aggression.
Yeah.
And it's possible to, even if someone hates you, it's possible to convert them into someone that loves you. I mean, they could be psychopathic, and then you probably, ultimately maybe you're better off cutting all
Yeah.
cutting all ties from that person. But that's the exception. Most people, it's okay to just keep in touch, but not lash back. Like it's always like I think it's always better not to react. It's always better to just say, okay, whatever, I gotta go talk to you tomorrow. Where in your heart you're saying, I never want to speak to this person ever again in my life.
Yeah.
But 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 if you say I never want to speak to you ever again in my life, like then you have an enemy. But if you tell them, okay, whatever, man, I'll talk to you tomorrow, then you have a friend. And it's always better to have a friend than an enemy.
Yeah.
Anyway. Do you want to talk about veganism?
Yeah, I actually spoke to Jensen and he told me he wasn't vegan. I thought he was, but he said he's got reservations about it now because he keeps finding research that like doesn't match what people are saying, and that's always been an issue. There's constant conflicting studies.
Like what? Like I agree, but what did he say something specific?
He said most of the vegan bodybuilders have just yeah, hold on, let me go check it. I don't want to misquote him.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, he said, I suspect the studies on vegan participants have survivorship selection bias going on of choosing people that are willing to show off their diet in the first place. And people that have been vegan for a while, especially since these people are activists, it's likely it will select for the best of the best in terms of vegans and not as much for carnists.
Interesting.
That's always been an issue, and it's
Mhm.
it's constantly on either side too. So people people either tell you oh, you wouldn't have this if you were vegan, or you wouldn't have this if you weren't vegan. Some of it doesn't matter. And he said, like, one of the bodybuilders had, who was vegan, I think is what he meant, for 6 years already.
Mhm.
So he said, I'm not against people being vegan. I think it's ideal if you can be healthy. Whenever I used to bring up these objections to my ex or any other
Mhm.
vegan, I'd get laughed at out of the room. Yeah, that's the case.
Mhm.
And then he said, I think when lab-grown meat takes off, I think we'll all be vegan pretty much. And I said,
Mhm.
that scares me because then that means they have total control.
Who?
And I didn't advocate for like total control of the market. I just advocated for the animals to have a higher quality of life. That was pretty much the whole discussion. And then I said we need to stop eating processed food. Like, whether it's vegan or not, it's just a necessity.
Wait, what do you think? Okay, what do you think about what were we talking about? The plastic surgeries. What's your stance on that? You're still same position?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm still in the same position.
Mm. So I was thinking, like, if you come to me and you tell me that you're going to prevent me from having a plastic surgery because that's good and I would tell you, but listen, I prefer doing plastic surgery. I know what's good for me. Like you cannot tell me what's good for me. I want to have this plastic surgery, and you would say, no. I'm looking out for you. It's good for you to not have the plastic surgery. So I would say that's being the most evil. That is the most evil. Like somebody tells you, look, I know what's good for me, and you telling them, no, I know what's good for you, and I'm gonna prevent you from whatever you think is good for you. I'm gonna prevent that from you. And I'm telling you, no, please, I know what's good for me. Like, don't, like, don't, don't interfere with my life, with my choices. And you're like, no, I know better than you what's good for you.
But maybe you wouldn't feel that way if you were not told subliminally that it was good for you on a massive scale. Like that's what I'm against, is I feel like people are being brainwashed and socially pressured into making that decision.
Right.
So I don't know what the solution is, but maybe there should be some sort of wait period, and we definitely should not encourage people going to medical school to do this simply to make money,
Right,
because
but
it's just making it harder for people to become medical doctors that actually do things that are useful and not just cosmetic.
right, but everyone we're all adults just like you. We've all heard your arguments, and after all is heard and said, we want to have the world the way it is. And you're taking this world away from us. So that I would say that's evil. You're taking something away from us that we appreciate. I would say that's pure evil. What is pure evil if not that? Like you're taking something that we consider is a good, you're just taking it away from us for no reason. So
Well, I think it's for a good reason, especially when it's like affecting people negatively on a massive scale. But at the same time, I think a good solution would be like what they implemented in New York, where people who want to become doctors can do so for a lot less when they go to college, and they can go as far as their aptitude allows. So people aren't pigeonholed into just doing these like procedures and injectables just so they can make money and not have student loans for the rest of their lives.
look, but this world, the way it's run, it's optimal. It's like I choose whatever I choose optimally for myself. What you choose optimally for yourself. For you to interfere with my choices, you're reducing my quality of life. That is evil. What is evil if not reducing someone else's quality of life? For like if it's for your benefit, then fine. You're being egoistic, and then it's fine. Like if you're jealous or if you're unhappy that I'm happy, then fine. Then I would say you're psychopathic, but that's fine. Maybe we all are to a certain extent. I'm all I'm a little upset when I see beautiful people having perfect lives because I don't have that and I'm jealous. But I know that ultimately it's better for me to live in a free society. Like I'm going to have a better life if you have a better.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah. I might be. I don't know. How do you feel about these media platforms where the promotion, which I consider brainwashing, takes place, getting sued?
there's no brainwashing. I watch like
Consider it
whatever.
brainwashing. I consider it to be social pressuring people into like different classes.
No, I don't see that. Like I consume Instagram and YouTube, and I see that's the only source of information that I have. I'm either on Instagram or on YouTube, and I actually am I subscribe to actual plastic surgery accounts. I love watching people with their before and after surgeries. It's like one of my favorite pastimes. That and cats. So I really enjoy watching. They take like basically ugly chicks and they turn them into supermodels. That it's unbelievable. They cut away their chins and their jaws and whatever, and they make them taller.
What I don't like about it.
Well, I love it. And I don't consider that brainwashing. For me, it's just informative. And I enjoy this information. And I enjoy watching the techniques and the before and after. It's just information. And I really enjoy it. I would not like brainwashing is something very specific. And this is not brainwashing.
I think it
Brainwash.
is. I've also noticed a lot of other like class action lawsuits against Instagram and Facebook simply because the way the algorithm works is pushing this into people's faces when they're the type of people who have problems with body dysmorphia and like obsession and maybe access to quick money like their college loans. Like it's just exploiting people.
I don't see that. So it might be that
Maybe because you don't experience this as a woman. If you experience this as a cisgendered woman, I think you'd notice the pattern. And not only that, I think you'd notice the fact that everybody's looking the same. Like you can't be beautiful in your own way anymore. You're either considered beautiful because you got the surgery, or you're considered ugly because you're poor.
look, you cannot. That's called ad hominem. If you're telling me that if you're referencing me in a debate, then that's a logical fallacy. So my position is that I'm not being brainwashed. There's no brainwashing, and if you find a judge that agrees with your position, then I don't change my mind. I still feel that it's not brainwashing and it's informative, and I would consider it censorship. You want to censor, and I'm against censorship because I'm pro freedom of speech. I'm pro First Amendment.
I feel that the algorithm is censoring other people's opinions. Like you can't even find accounts where you have natural women anymore, and that's literally all I'm in search of ever. and I can't find a single woman without a BBL or some sort of jaw surgery.
Then you should create your own.
It's the fact that it's literally put into my face constantly. And
Well,
whether I create my own content, it's still going to the wrong audience, and it's intentionally going to the wrong audience because it makes people engage and has more influence on them.
okay, then you create your own Instagram, and people will use your Instagram, but I will use Mark Zuckerberg's Instagram. I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with his algorithm. So for you to
That
claim,
just seems depressing. That seems like you can't fight City Hall.
I can't hear you. What?
I said that seems depressing. It's like basically being told that you can't fight City Hall.
No, you're free to create your own Instagram and people and with your own algorithm and try to attract an audience and get investors. But I am not interested. Maybe I will love it. I'll try it. But for now, I love Instagram. I can spend hours a day on Instagram. The algorithm is amazing, and so is YouTube. These are amazing algorithms. I always prefer whatever they feed me over whatever I choose. I hardly ever search. I'm always just I go to the recommended. That's all I do, and I love it. So I'm very happy with the algorithm. And it's my choice, I'm an old person. I'm very well informed about everything. To claim that this is brainwashing is nothing short of censorship, pure evil dressed in it's insult and injury. You want to take away the things that I appreciate in life, and you're claiming that you're doing it in my benefit. You might as well cut my head off and tell me that it's for my benefit. So it's insult on injury. It's evil on top of evil. Do you understand?
I understand. Even though it's not traditional brainwashing, you can still brainwash people with social media. It's even used by cults. Like, I feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if it's not traditional, you can't consider it the same thing, but that's outdated.
Look,
Like, you already have to
brainwashing,
deal with the emotional
but
aspects of the manipulation. You're basically stuck in an echo chamber because of the algorithm, and then you're bombarded by misinformation, and there's a social pressure
this is
that
my
you have to
choice.
conform.
No, there's no pressure on me. My life is beautiful. I don't have any pressure. I don't know what you
You're just
call.
one of the people who aren't suffering.
Excuse me?
You're just one of the people who aren't suffering. That doesn't eliminate the
Then you
fact it
create, look,
exists.
go ahead and create your own Instagram, and people, get investors, build your own Instagram, create whatever algorithm, and, maybe you'll have clients, maybe not. For now, there's not only there's TikTok and there's Instagram and there's YouTube, there is competition between these bodies, and there's different algorithms. X has a different algorithm. There's all different people, there's different social networks with different algorithms, and you can choose whatever you want to choose. To claim that any one of these is brainwashing, that's an abuse of language. This is not the definition of brainwashing. Brainwashing is something else. This is not brainwashing. This is just consumption of content. This is people choosing to consume content. This is not brainwashing. Brainwashing is maybe, I mean, I wouldn't know how to brainwash, but maybe if you take a child and you teach a child about religion from a very young age and stuff like that. Like, you could say that the school system, since there is no choice, since you have to go to school or the police will come and arrest you or your parents, that you could say is brainwashing because there's no choice. but I didn't hear you complaining about the school system. So if anything, that's
I have complained about the school system. That's a whole different story, but I've definitely complained about it. Just
then
not
that's
during our conversations, but
okay.
I could tackle it.
That's brainwashing. That is much closer to brainwashing because you're forced. You're forced at gunpoint to go to sit in class and listen to the teacher say those things. And I consider most of what they teach you to be lies and to be government propaganda. So that you could say is brainwashing. What people choose to consume on social media, that's not brainwashing. You can say many things, but that's not brainwashing. You could say that if there is lies if you're being fed lies, then you could say maybe that's brainwashing. Maybe it's just lies. You could be fed lies. You could be like vegans usually spread lies and misinformation. I would argue that, but even that's not you could argue that's a type maybe of brainwashing, but at the end of the day, people choose to consume. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not going to stop people from consuming, even though I feel vegans are pure evil. I'm not gonna stop them by force. I'm not gonna try and pass laws to stop veganism. Vegans are taking down this civilization, and that's the way it is. I'm not going to. I'm not gonna stop them using force. Anyway.
Hmm.
Look, I understand how you feel. But you're creating North Korea. You're creating a society. You're taking away the freedom of choice of individuals in a society, and you're destroying society. You're destroying what we have. You're destroying our quality of life. Anyway, do you want to go?
Not sure of that,
What?
considering the fact that Mark Zuckerberg was sued because of how Facebook affected free speech. Like, I think that these platforms that are pushing these things are creating less of a free society.
The fact that he was sued is not evidence one way or the other. I mean, you can present your evidence, whatever evidence you have. The fact that somebody sued him or the fact that a judge ruled against him, that's not evidence. That's just somebody's opinion. That's appeal to authority. So that's inadmissible in a debate. Like if you want the truth. So the truth has nothing to do with anyone suing anyone. The truth has to do with how you feel and you trying to make me feel the same. You telling me that some judge feels like you does not change my mind. You telling me that everyone feels like you doesn't change my mind. You need to change my mind by changing my mind. Anyway, do you have to go?
No, I've got time. He'll be home later. I don't even know if he has the car yet because we're getting a new car.
Nice.
Yeah, just doing insurance and stuff.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think you're much better now. I think you feel better. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna go maybe grab a bite and then come back and maybe do some more work. I'll be back later
All right, dude.
if you want to talk more later after I eat.
Yeah, I might see you around, but I'm gonna be really busy tomorrow, so I won't see you at all.
Yeah, no problem. All right.
Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for talking. Bye.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Later.
Okay, later. Bye. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go grab a bite. See you later. Bye.